Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you to race number 19 of the 2015 NASCAR Xfinity Series season here at the Iowa Speedway. 27 laps of racing here for tonight's US Cellular 250 here on the short track in Newton, Iowa. On the pole is number 7, Regan Smith comes into this race 6 in points. On the outside is rookie Brandon Jones in the number 33. Row 2 is Brandon's teammate Ty Dillon. Right now 5th in points, 29 points behind. On the outside is the spring Iowa winner Ryan Blaney. On row 3 is Elliott Sadler, a 2-time Iowa winner, and Daniel Suarez, the rookie in the 18. And running at the top 10 is Brian Scott, Chase Elliott, Brendan Poole, and Drew Herring, the top 10. Earlier today we had the Truck Series race from Pocono. Matt Crafton took home the win. Now we have the Xfinity Series here at Iowa. Tonight, Kenny Wallace will make his final NASCAR start in the number 20 Sport Clips Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. He will start 15th behind Darrell Wallace Jr. and Ben Roach on row 7. In row 6, Chris Buescher and Brendan Gaughan. Here, after last weekend's race at Indianapolis, Chase Elliott has the point lead, a 15-point lead on Darrell Wallace Jr. 18 points on Brian Scott, 28 on Elliott Sadler, and 29 on Ty Dillon. He has a 34-point lead on Regan Smith, 59 on Chris Buescher, 75-point lead on Ryan Reed, 81 on Daniel Suarez, and 146 on Brendan Gaughan. I can't really quite remember who won last week. I believe it may have been Ryan. It was Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson won last weekend's race at Indianapolis. Who will it be tonight? As down below, you should have saw your starting grid rolling across your screen. Now we're going to take you to the green flag. Racing on, driving onto the racetrack, Regan Smith and Brandon Jones, your front row. Ty Dillon, Ryan Blaney, and Elliott Sadler. Daniel Suarez, Brian Scott, Chase Elliott, Brendan Poole, and Drew Herring. Back here, JD Motorsports, a few driver changes. Landon Castle not racing. They Ross Chastain in the 01. Number 4 is driven by Michael Self, and the 0 is driven by Matt Fromm. Harrison Rhodes is driving the 90. Cody Ware is in the 52 as Joey Gase is now in the 79. Josh Reed, Morgan Shepherd rounds out the field, but Regan Smith gets us underway. Racing down into turn 1, Regan Smith on the inside, Brendan Jones up top, Ty Dillon on the inside for second place on the track. Now coming off turn 2, Dillon on the inside, Blaney in the middle, Sadler on the inside with Brendan Jones up top. Chase Elliott on the outside of Brendan Poole. Chris Buescher pushing a 42 in the turn 3. Off turn 4, the 33 is in the wall, and we stay green for the first lap of the race. But the 33 still in the wall, we got Suarez and Brendan Jones up in the outside wall, Drew Herring and J.J. Yaley wrecks. Matt Wallace is involved in the 26. Caution comes out for the first time today. We had actually a second crash back here. Matt Fromm and Joey Gase are off pace. Racing back to the line. There's the 18 of Daniel Suarez involved. Damage on the 18, J.J. Yaley. Jamie Dix on pit road. Cody Ware gets sent in the grass by Brendan Jones. A lot of damage on the 13 of Derek White. A lot of front-end damage on the 74 of Mike Harmon. There's Jamie Dick, Morgan Shepherd, Joey Gase, Matt Fromm. And Regan Smith is now your leader in the 7 as he had a couple of crashes here on the first lap. The 79 of Joey Gase just took his car behind the wall. Let's go back and see what happened to Matt Fromm and Brandon Jones and all these guys. First, let's look at Matt Fromm. He's going to get turned by Harrison Rhodes, who normally drives that 0 car. Fromm goes around right in front of Joey Gase. There's Derek White getting collected. Mike Harmon. The 40 of Josh Reed gets by. That was going on, and then we had all the contact with Brendan Jones and Daniel Suarez. See, the 33 is in the wall. The 18 goes to the inside, tries to get by the 33. He ends up getting turned on the nose of Drew Herring, his teammate. And then Ben Rhodes makes some contact in the 88, but he is able to continue. Herring comes down into J.J. Yaley. Clements makes slight contact, and a few guys. Runs right in the back of the 28, Matt Wallace. making his Xfinity debut in the 26. Matt Wallace. He's Yaley's teammate this weekend. And then Brendan Jones, who won his first career truck race earlier this year at Martinsville, had a great run in qualifying, started second, fast in practice, but now Brandon currently right now 33rd on track. A couple of cars that took the course behind the wall. The 74 of Mike Harmon is out the race, along with the 0 of Matt Fromm and the 79 of Joey Gase. Gase normally drives the 52, but he's driving the 79, which is a second Jimmy Means car. Jamie Dick is on track now in 37th place, 1 lap down. Regan Smith is your leader. He has yet to go to victory lane in 2015. Ty Dillon right now running second. Ryan Blaney, Elliott Sadler, and Brian Scott. Chris Buescher started outside the top 10. He's now 6th. Brendan Poole, Chase Elliott, Kenny Wallace, and Darrell Wallace Jr. Brendan Gaughan, Ben Rhodes, Ryan Reed, Cale Conley, Dylan Lupton, Michael Self, Jeremy Clements, Dakota Armstrong, David Starr, and Peyton Sellers, your top 20. Eric McClure, Ross Chastain, Drew Herring, Blake Cook, Derek Cope, Matt Wallace, Ryan Sieg, Daniel Suarez, J.J. Yaley, and Harrison Rhodes. Jason Bowles right now 31st, Cody Ware, Brendan Jones, Derek White, and Josh Ream, and Morgan Shepard. The lights are out, top of the pace car, meaning we are going green this time by. Making our way into turn 3. Now, 55 Jamie Dick is 1 lap down, so he's on the inside, meaning all these leaders at the front of the field is going to have to maneuver their way through this floor 55 on the inside lane, and he has some contact on the nose, so that's going to slow down his progress as the green flag comes back out. Smith, Dillon, Blaney, Sadler, and Brian Scott, your top 5, racing down into turn 1. Kenny Wallace to the inside of Chase Elliott for 9th place on the track. Made that 8th place. Wallace now gets hold up behind Jamie Dick as Elliott gets by on the outside lane. Now Wallace clears Jamie Dick, working on the number 9, Darrell Wallace Jr., the top 2 in the championship, side by side, and Chase Elliott in the wall off turn 4, falling back in the 9. Last couple of races have not been kind to this 19 ever since Loudon. Chase Elliott has lost his momentum, and back here, Cale Conley gets turned on the outside wall by Jamie Dick. He saves it, but he has a lot of rear-end damage on the 14. Cale Conley running so well, gets turned in the wall by a slower lap car of Jamie Dick. There's Michael Self in 4, Peyton Sellers, Cale Conley all the way down to 23rd now. Maybe the caution may have came out before the 14, and now Ty Dillon's taken over the race lead away from Regan Smith. Ryan Blaney is now 2nd. Regan Smith is now 3rd as the 54. Drew Herring making, I believe, his final start of the year in the Monster Energy Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Not going well at all. Racing Peyton Sellers, and he's the guy who ran right in the back of Cale Conley. Kind of organized the 14, kept him straight, but Drew Herring a lot of damage on the 54, and he's coming down pit road. Not sure if he'll be able to continue this 54 car running for the Owners Championship, and not a good sign. 54 on pit road on lap number 10. Going to follow and see if the 54 is going to take the car to the garage. I believe he will. That was some heavy contact on the front end of the 54, and that will end Drew Herring's night here at Iowa. 15 laps remaining here at the Iowa Speedway when we go back green this time by. Ty Dillon got around Regan Smith on that restart. He's now your leader. Ryan Blaney won the first Iowa race this year. He is 2nd. Regan Smith, Elliott Sadler, and Brian Scott. Chris Buescher, all these guys trying to chase down Chase Elliott in the championship. Right now, Elliott's outside the top 10. Brendan Poole 7th, Darrell Wallace, Ben Rhodes, and a great run for Kenny Wallace in 10th place. Ryan Reed, Chase Elliott 12th. Dylan Lupton, Jeremy Clements, and Brendan Gaughan. Dakota Armstrong, David Starr, Blake Cook, Ross Chastain, and J.J. Yaley. Michael Self and Peyton Sellers to top 22 as we are back on the way here at Iowa. 36 cars remaining on track, and see all the leaders going by. The 55 of Jamie Dick. Ryan Scott working on the back bumper of Elliott Sadler in the 1 car. Elliott to the inside of the 55. Ooh, he's got around, trying to get around Kenny Wallace and Ben Rhodes down in turn 3. The 88 and the 20 in the outside wall off turn 4, so Elliott picks up 3 spots on the restart. Busher and Scott to the inside of Elliott Sadler, and now Ryan Blaney working on the number 3 of Ty Dillon. And then, oh, there they go again. Jeremy Clements is around. 51 of Jeremy Clements, and Morgan Shepherd just about ran right into the 51. So the caution comes out once again here on lap number 14 as Clements running very well. On the inside of Kenny Wallace, who was falling back after contact off turn 4 in the outside wall. Bouncing into Blake Cook and Kenny Wallace, but a simple spin for the number 51. After all, because of all these cautions, this race is going by in a hurry. We are already now 9 laps away from the checker flag. Ty Dillon looking for win number 2 in 2015. So is Ryan Blaney looking for win number 2. Regan Smith trying to get win number 1. So is Chris Busher in the 60. Brian Scott got his first career win earlier this year at Loudon, right now running 4th. 6 is Elliott Sadler, Brendan Poole, Darrell Wallace, Chase Elliott, and give a call to Dylan Lupton right now running inside the top 10 in that 25 car. 9 to go here from Iowa. And since we're under 10 to go, Jamie Dick is not up here near the front of the field. And now Regan Smith to the inside for second place on Ryan Blaney. Smith to the inside of Blaney. Now working right on the inside of the 3 of Ty Dillon. He had a great run in turn 1 and 2. Now he dives to the inside of Ty Dillon. Dillon slides out the track. Opens up the door for Regan Smith to get by on the inside. Blaney and Dillon on the outside. Brian Scott and Chris Busher on the inside. Dillon, he now gets an attack from the 22, Ryan Blaney, who's now really battling the 3 hard. Chris Busher to the inside of Brian Scott. Down the back straight away, and we are under yellow. Once again, Jason Bowles has crashed. Trying to get second away is Chris Busher on the inside of Brian Scott. He'll clear him at the line. Scott 3rd, Blaney 4th, and Ty Dillon now all the way down to 5th place. Sadler 6th, Darrell Wallace, Chase Elliott, Brendan Poole, and Brendan Gaughan, your top 10 now. As we're on the yellow, once again we had another crash. Matt Wallace, and that number 26 have crashed. But the caution initially came out for the number 19 of Jason Bowles after contact off turn 4 in the 19 car. It's like Derek Cope got in the wall. Peyton set on the right here. Jeremy Clements is going to turn Matt Wallace down into the 19 of Jason Bowles. The 19 spins out, but it is a simple spin for the number 19. Race back to the line, the 26 of Matt Wallace. Once again off turn 4 gets collected by Derek Cope. And Wallace tries to get it fired, and he does. Not trying to spend a whole lot of time on the replays since they take forever. But how about that restart for Regan Smith? Got past Ryan Blaney and Ty Dillon in 1 lap, and now the number 7 is back out in front. How about Chris Busher? A few races ago, before Loudon, he was out this championship battle. He was over almost 100 points out behind Chase Elliott. After a great run at New Hampshire, a great run at Indianapolis, and a few bad runs by Chase Elliott and Darrell Wallace Jr., Busher is now 59 points behind entering this race. And now he's running second, about 5 to 6 spots ahead of Chase Elliott and Darrell Wallace. So Regan Smith, Chris Busher, Brian Scott, Ryan Blaney, and Ty Dillon. We will have a couple laps remaining when we go back green, which will be in about a lap. Okay, this is what's going to happen. We will have 3 laps remaining. If a caution comes out, they will race back to the line, and who's ever in the lead at the flag will be the winner. So whatever flag comes out next after this green flag, it will end the race. Outside the top 10, Dylan Lupton, Ryan Reed, Ben Rhodes, Dakota Armstrong, Ross Chastain, Kenny Wallace, Blake Cook, Michael Self, Ryan Sieg, and J.J. Yaley. Cale Conley, Brandon Jones are 21st and 22nd after they have had their trouble earlier today. Can Chris Busher get by Regan Smith? 3 to go from Iowa. And a pretty good jump on the 60 for Chris Busher as he now moves to the inside of Regan Smith. Off turn 2 to the inside comes Chris Busher. These guys have not won a race yet in 2015. Down into turn 3 they go. Brian Scott and Ryan Blaney trying to take advantage of the two cars side by side for the lead, and the caution will come out once again. Racing back to the line, Regan Smith out in front. And it looks like he will win the race as another caution comes out. Not sure why, but the yellow is out here at Iowa. And that will do it right there for Regan Smith from the pole to the win in the Napa Chevrolet. His first win here at Iowa, and his first win of 2015. And this will certainly help put this number 7 back in the championship battle. Darrell Wallace 7th, Chase Elliott 8th, as Brendan Poole and Brendan Gunn finishes as they exit here Iowa. And the caution just kept on coming out, and it did not stop here at the end. Jamie Dick gets turned by the 26 of Matt Wallace. But the 55 was trying to give room to the 18 of Daniel Suarez, but ended up coming down on the nose of Matt Wallace. At 26, got plenty of TV time in this race. As we are on the last lap, coming around turn 4, that will do it for Regan Smith. Coming across the line, Regan Smith wins at Iowa. He wins the U.S. Cellular 250 in the final race of the year here at the Iowa Speedway. I apologize for all the wrecks, but that's usually how it is here at the Iowa Speedway on this game. But anyway, that will do it here from Iowa. The next race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series will be next weekend at Watkins Glen, and then again at Mid-Ohio a week later. So that will do it there for the Xfinity Series from Iowa. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Spring Up Series live from the Pocono Raceway, as we just wrapped up the truck race at Pocono earlier today. So Matt Crafton, Regan Smith, your weekend winners so far, but who will it be tomorrow in the Cup Series race at Pocono? We'll find out tomorrow. Congrats to Regan Smith on his first win in 2015.